Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to you from the Clearing Hub here at Staffordshire University. My name's Paul Donnelly. I'm the Student Recruitment and Enquiries Manager, and I'll be managing the Clearing Hotlines. And I've got Ellie with me here as well.
Yeah, so my name's Ellie. I've just finished my undergraduate psychology degree at Staffordshire University and I got a 2-1. I'm also a student ambassador and I work on the Clearing Hotlines and working for Enquiries as well.
Okay guys, so we're going to be discussing all things clearing. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask us, just pop them in the comments below and we'll be sure to cover them.
So first off, Paul, can you tell us a little bit about clearing, what clearing is and what adjustment is and when clearing closes?
Yeah, so clearing is it's a UCAS service which is available between July and September. So we've already been talking to lots of people about clearing, and it's basically it's another opportunity for people to get a place at universities. So the main thing about clearing is that it's only about unconditional offers. So what we need to do when people are calling the clearing hotlines is to make sure that they already have all of their results so that we can make a decision. And we make those decisions quite quickly in clearing, so it's a little different to the main cycle. So it could be that you pick up a phone, give us a call, and 5 to 10 minutes later you come off the phone with an offer. So it's really fast. That last chance basically to get some vacancies at the uni.
And how would I know if I'm in clearing?
So clearing would be for primarily for those people who haven't got any offers by this point of the year. So the UCAS deadline stops at the end of June. So any new applications after that point are clearing applications. And anyone who applied in the main cycle who is without a university place or without an offer, they would then automatically fall into clearing. But clearing is also about an opportunity to change your mind if you want to as well. So if you're holding an offer somewhere and circumstances change and you need to weigh up your options, then clearing is another opportunity to do that.
And what date does clearing close? What's the last date we're accepting clearing applications?
So we will continue running our clearing hotlines right up until the middle of October. So it would be Friday the 15th of October, I believe. So we will continue to recruit on some of our courses right the way up till 2 weeks into teaching, because obviously, like I say, things can change, circumstances can change at the last minute, so we want to give everyone as much opportunity as possible.
And how does somebody apply through clearing?
So clearing is a little different than the main cycle. So the best thing to do during clearing is to contact universities directly. So for ourselves, we've got our clearing hotlines open. They have been since back in June. Tomorrow on results day, we're opening the hotlines at 8 a.m. and we are open all the way through till 9 p.m. And then we've even got an overnight service on live chat following through to when the hotlines open again the following day. So there's lots of support in place. But yeah, as well as that, and on our website we've got the offer generator as well. So if you go on to www.staffs.ac.uk/clearing, you'll be able to put your details in there, what your qualifications are, the course that you're interested in, and find out there and then if you can have a place with us.
And obviously it's A-level and Btec results day tomorrow, and is there anything, Ali, obviously you man the hotlines as well, along with Paul's team. Is there anything that people can do to prepare for tomorrow's results day, or is there anything that they need on hand when they call you up? What kind of information do they need?
Yeah, so when you do call the clearing hotlines, it's really helpful if you do have your UCAS personal ID, just so then we can tie your name to your account. But if you don't have that, don't worry about it, we can do it from your name. As well, just keep yourself calm. We are here to help you, and as well, make sure you've got your results there in front of you. It just makes everybody's life a little bit easier, just to make sure that we know exactly what you've gotten, and so we can progress your application as quickly as we can.
And where can somebody find their clearing number?
So what you would need to do, we don't you will get given a clearing number by UCAS, but you don't really need that at this stage in terms of your sort of initial call. So like Ellie said, if you're registered with UCAS, then it would be great if you could have your UCAS ID handy, which you'll find on your UCAS track. If you aren't in the UCAS system, I mean, I was a clearing student myself, and I just decided to come to university quite late. So if that's the case for yourselves, don't think you've got to register with UCAS first. You can get in touch with us, and we can do all of that at a later stage. So yeah, in terms of what you need, as Ali said, we will be ready and we will be able to help you, guide you through the process. So don't worry too much, but the best things to have, we'll be asking you for your contact details, we'll be asking you for your qualifications as well. So if you've got those, and if you do have a UCAS ID, if you have that handy as well, then it just makes it a little smoother in terms of the process for us.
And I believe there is a small fee, is that right, for applying through UCAS?
There is, so that if you're registering with UCAS at this point, then there would be a fee, and there is a small fee for clearing. But what we do here at Staffs is, if you aren't already registered with UCAS, then if we make you an offer, we will send you a form to complete, and once you send that back to us, we will actually put you onto UCAS, so we will actually cover the fee and do all the registration for you, just to make it that little bit easier.
And we've had a question come in around places, if there are places specifically in accounting and finance, but how can somebody find out what clearing vacancies or course places we've got here at Staffs Uni?
Well, I mean, there are lots of ways you can find out. So the UCAS website is obviously a good source for people, because that will have all of the vacancies at all of the universities at this time of year. If you're looking specifically for staffs, again, if you go to our website onto the clearing page, then you'll be able to find what courses are available there as well. I mean, in terms of the question about accounting and finance, we do have a business and finance course that is available through clearing. So obviously, if that's what you're interested in, then get in touch and we'll help you through the process.
So obviously it's results day tomorrow. How can somebody get in touch, and what are your opening hours for the hotline?
Okay, so I mean, our opening hours, we open tomorrow at 8 a.m. So UCAS track won't be open until 8:30. So that first half an hour, we can help support people. If you've got any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Or if you have already had your results, then we can take you through the process. But for those of you waiting on your A-levels or your Btecs tomorrow, you should have those published for you at 8:30. So we will be open at that time, and as I mentioned before, we're open right until 9 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll have people available, ready to take your call all the way until then. Also, we'll have people on live chat, and like I say, there's lots of information on the clearing website as well. But after that, so we get to 9 o'clock, although the hotlines close, we will continue to cover our live chat right through until the hotlines reopen at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. And on the Wednesday, we're open all the way through till 8 p.m. So we're available round the clock.
Just give Paul a chance to catch his breath. I'll go to Ali. Somebody's asked if they can come and take a look around campus before their course starts in September. Is there an open day that people can come and attend, and what's the experience like on an open day? I assume you came on an open day?
Yes, I did. I came on multiple open days. So we do have a clearing open day, which is this Saturday. I believe it's the 14th, if my dates follow me properly. And that's where you can come down. There'll be a mixture of virtual and in-person elements. So it means that you can really come down to campus, speak to the lecturers, speak to the students as well, and really get a feel for the university. Usually what happens on an open day is you'll have a welcome talk, which will be done by a member of staff, and typically you'll have a talk from a student. and then you'll be able to go and have a walk around the campus if you want a campus tour. You can come and view the accommodation, and you can also go into subject talks, get toured around the specialist facilities, and really get to grips with the university that you're coming to, and really get to see exactly what we're about, and hopefully we will sell you on coming to Staffs in September.
Fantastic, thanks Ali. And people can book a place online, is
Yes,
that
they
right? Okay, so going back to more clearing specific questions, Paul. So if somebody has got not got the results that they've expected, what should they do?
The first thing to do is not to panic. I know that it may be disappointing news, for some people when they get the results, but I mean, particularly here at Staffs, what we do is we will treat each case on an individual basis. So we have lots of options in terms of our course portfolio here. So, like I say, don't panic if you don't get the results that you need, because that's what the clearing process is for. So get in touch. Make a plan for yourself of any universities that you want to speak to. And then if you contact those universities, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the conversations that you'll have with that. We obviously know that it's a time of year when, as well as people who are really excited because they've got the place, there's also the other side of it where people might not have done as well as they expected for a whole number of reasons. So we understand that, and what we want to do is make the process of clearing as simple as possible for everyone. So if you get in touch with us, you'll be speaking to a trained, friendly advisor who will be happy to help you and take you through so that we can get you through all the options that we have available. Because obviously what we want to do is provide opportunities for people. So like I say, don't panic, get in touch with us or get in touch with any universities that you want to speak to, because it's certainly not the end if you don't get the results or the places that you was hoping for.
And if they've done better than expected, is that when they go through something called adjustment?
Yes, that is an option. So for those people who have met the conditions of their offer or exceeded those conditions, on results day you'll be eligible for something called adjustment. So adjustment is it was designed for people who may not have chosen a particular institution because they didn't feel that they'd get the results to be able to go there. So for those who overachieve and have great results when they're released, you click on the adjustment button, which will become available in your UCAS track, and that'll give you a certain window of time to be able to contact other institutions that you might have left off your form, and then when that window of time has passed, if you haven't moved elsewhere, you'll stick with the original offers that you have. But it's just that extra opportunity for you to be able to do some shopping around.
And if somebody's only just decided to go to university, what should they do then? They can still apply through clearing, is that right? Yeah,
definitely. So we get lots of people who make late decisions on coming to university. I know there's been quite a bit of uncertainty in the world over the last 18 months or so. So in a lot of cases, people might have been hesitant to commit to doing something like going to university. But like I say, I did it myself. I came through clearing here at Staffs, and I think I made a decision around September time to join university, and everything was really straightforward and simple to do. So like I say, if you aren't already in the UCAS system and this is a late decision to go to university, then clearing is very much for you.
I'll just go back to some questions to Ali, give Paul a chance to catch his breath again. So what do you think are the best bits about studying at Staffs, Ali? What have you enjoyed most about your time at Staffs?
So being at Staffs for 3 years, I have a similar story. I didn't come through clearing, but I did really badly in my A-levels. So I was not your sixth form poster child with like 3 A stars. And coming to Staffs, it meant that I was brought up academically up to speed with other students who have come from a really academic background. So the support I've received from the university has been better than anything else. I also suffer with diagnosed anxiety and depression. So the one thing that really sold me about Staffordshire University was the support systems in place, being able to speak to counsellors, wellbeing practitioners, really being able to work through my own personal experiences and really not letting it stand in the way of my university career. As well, the lecturers, they are so friendly, especially in the psychology department. I'm obviously biased being a psychology student myself. The lecturers are so friendly across the university. No problem is too big for them. If you've ever got a question, a concern, you can speak to them and they'll do their best to help you. It's overall just a really nice community feel, and it felt like a second family to me, which I found really important when I was shopping around for universities.
And you've actually answered one of the important questions that we've been having. Obviously, it's a really stressful time at the moment for a lot of people, and it was around what student support is available at Staffs. But I think you've touched on a bit of that there. But was there anything else that you wanted to mention on that?
Yeah, so as I said before, we've got really good trained wellbeing practitioners along with trained counsellors, which is completely confidential. As well, if you are diagnosed with any form of disability, whether it be learning, mental, anything along those lines, you are eligible for a funding called Disabled Students Allowance, which allows you to get personalised support to ensure that you flourish at university. So whether it's academic help, having a counsellor, I've been in benefit of receiving support from Disabled Students Allowance. So it meant that if I was ever struggling to ever submit an assignment, anything like that, it meant that I could be given some extra time to do it, or even just having extra time within my exams, because I would sit there and I'd panic and my brain would just go completely blank. So having that extra time meant that I was able to really do well in my exams pretty much and not fail anything. And the support I've received has been absolutely brilliant here at Staffordshire University.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Ellie. That's fantastic. So back to Paul and clearing. So once somebody's accepted a clearing course offer at Staffs, what happens next?
Right. So obviously, in order to get a place on the an offer from us in clearing, you'll go through the hotline process. So whether that's speaking to someone on the phone or do it on live chat, or you put in your details in the offer generator. If we can make you an offer, we will send an email to you which will have all of the next steps. So for those of you who are in the UCAS system, it will outline, obviously it'll confirm the course that you've got your offer for. It'll give you the institution code, the course code, everything that you need in order to confirm that place. In terms of those who aren't already registered in UCAS, we have the option of completing the form and sending that back to us. And obviously we've got the email address there to send it back to in that email. So after that, we in the email as well, we'll talk about, we do have a clearing focused open day on Thursday the 12th, which is in addition to the event on the Saturday the 14th, and that's that clearing open day is available for those people who have received clearing offers. So we'll have a link to that booking form in that email address, and then following that, once those details have been submitted, whether it's on UCAS or whether it's via the form, then our admissions team will be doing the relevant checks. Just to make sure to have a look at the qualifications, just to make sure that everything matches up, and also any further checks that may need to happen. So, for example, if you have registered a disability, then that will be passed to our support team so that they can have a look and check to see what support we can put in place for you. And then after that's been done, you'll then receive your invitation to complete your online enrolment. And from there, you'll be able to access things like your timetables, and also it'll tell you about what will happen when you're on campus in terms of when you complete your second stage of enrolment, which at the second stage of enrolment, once that's confirmed, that's when any fees from student finance will be released. Obviously, as well as that, you may be looking to book accommodation, and you'll also need to get in touch with student finance. But again, at this time of year, things do happen very quickly, because obviously all the teams will increase their resource to make sure that we can cope with the demand that's coming through. So although it's a really busy time of year, it's also a really proactive and time of year as well, where we get things done as quickly as possible by working longer hours and making sure that we're available to help as much as we can.
You touched on that briefly, Paul, but we've had there's quite a few questions around accommodation, and if it's too late to apply for accommodation if somebody comes in through clearing, and if they can still apply for university accommodation.
No, it's certainly not too late. I mean, here at Staffs we're guaranteeing university accommodation up to the 24th of August, I believe. So anyone who gets an offer and applies for their accommodation by that date, we're guaranteeing them a place. We've also got lots of alternative accommodation available at the university. So we work with local landlords, etc., to make sure that there are certain standards in the accommodation through the local landlords, and make sure that it's a safe and comfortable environment to live in.
And can somebody apply for accommodation before they've accepted a place on a course?
So in order to apply for your accommodation, you will need to be holding an offer. So what that means is that, like I say, things happen really quickly in clearing. So it's likely that if you apply to us, then you'll get your decision very quickly. And obviously, if that decision is positive and you get offered a place, then at that point you'll be able to apply for your university accommodation.
And along a similar vein of that, there are, again, you have touched on this previously, but there's a couple of questions around student finance, and can somebody still apply for a student loan during clearing?
Yeah, very much so. So again, this clearing period has been happening for a long time with universities, with student finance, etc. So there are all things in place. So you can very much still apply for your student finance at this point of the year, and right up until we close in terms of the clearing offers. So student finance is still available, and obviously if you get an offer, then get onto student finance as quickly as you can, just to try and give yourself the best chance of having those funds available for when you start.
And I've got a question here around what if somebody's already applied for student finance for a different university or a different course, what happens then?
That's fine. Again, it would just be a case of getting in touch with student finance so that they can change that over for you. So as long as you've got your offer letter or offer email there, they'll be able to change that over for you, so that obviously the funds are sent to the correct institution when you start.
Going back to Ellie, so what's the campus like, the main campus at Stoke-on-Trent, and what are the facilities like?
Yeah, so we have two campuses in Stoke-on-Trent. We have Leek Road side and College Road side. So on our Leek Road side, we have our accommodation, our gym, our solar powered laundry, along with our science centre, where a lot of our sciencey courses are, including psychology. And we've also got our law buildings, our business school, all with loads of different places to get coffee, because all students need their coffee in the morning. Facilities wise, all students get access to industry standard kit, and Staffordshire University, they want us to use the kit. It's not just there for the PhD students, the lecturers, they're there for us to use, and they really enjoy us going, what's this, can I use it, how does it work? Because we want our students to be able to go into industry with going in running, being able to be at the forefront of what they're doing. On the College Road side, we have more of our creative courses. So where we are in the Mellor building, that's where a lot of our computer courses are based, because we've got loads of different computers, servers, just to make sure that our students are able to do really well for themselves. We've also got access to our new esports lab in our Beacon building, which is where our new esports course is going to be based. Well, it's been there since 2018, but it's so the students can go in and really get a feel for being in industry standard areas and really be able to get to grips with what they're going to be doing when they graduate from us.
How close is the campus to the city centre, Ellie, and what are the transport links like?
So we're dead close to the train station, so it means that if you wanted to go to Birmingham or Manchester, you can do that on an hour's train. Going to the city centre, if you drive, it's about a 5-10 minute drive, or if you walk, it's about a 10-15 minute drive. I don't like walking, I'm pretty lazy, so I prefer to drive, but I have walked into the city centre before, and it's not too bad. It is a nice walk, and it's all in really busy areas, so it is all roads, no trying to like trek over hills or anything like that. And again, all the local supermarkets are nearby, and a lot of students from when I was...
Obviously, things with the COVID situation, things are a little bit uncertain at the moment. Do you have any ideas what the learning experience will be like in September? Will there be an on-campus experience?
There will indeed be an on-campus experience. So obviously all universities had to adapt when the pandemic hit, and there was a lot of teaching done online. I mean, to be honest, here at Staffordshire University, we were pioneers in distance learning courses and things like that anyway. So we'd already got a portfolio of courses that were available via distance learning. So the online experience wasn't something new to us in terms of being able to do that. But there were lots of lessons learned, obviously, because of the scale of it. Going across most of the university in terms of online provision. But what we're doing now is the campus is very much open. So in September it will be very much an on-campus experience, but we will still be having some rules in place. So obviously in our buildings there'll still be masks required and things like that. There's lots of, if you come onto campus, you'll see that there's sanitizer everywhere. There's lots of that available, and I mean, obviously what we will be doing is there will still be a blended element in terms of what we do, but the on-campus courses will have very much an on-campus experience. There may be some elements of that course that we'll do online, more because we found from speaking to students that flexibility is important, and having that opportunity to do the blend has been really useful in some aspects. So, you know, we've listened to that, and so we will be complementing the on-campus experience with also some online teaching as well. And
does going through clearing affect somebody's start date when they start the course?
It doesn't, and in terms of the start date for the courses, for most of our courses that will be the 27th of September. We may have some exceptions down in our Stafford campus that start a week earlier, but in terms of the start date, if you come through clearing, you'll still start alongside everyone else, so it would be that 27th of September. As I did mention before, we will continue to recruit people 2 weeks into our teaching. So obviously if you apply after the start date, then your start date would be as soon as we can get you in after that. Obviously what we'd want to do at that point is make sure that we mitigate as much as possible against people having to miss too much information, so that they have to do a lot to catch up. But in general, for anyone who has given an offer before the 27th of September, then that's when the start date will be from.
And are you going to be more flexible with grades this year in light of the effects of COVID and also centre assessed grades?
Yeah, so obviously here at Staffordshire University, I mean, you'll see from our on our social media, on our website, it's about the potential that we see in people. So it's not just about grades. When we get an application, we look at a lot more than that. So we look at the individual. So we'll take into consideration any qualifications that they have, any skills that you have, any experience that you have. So we'll look at the application as a whole. So in terms of flexibility, we do that all through the year. So that's that's how we operate. We're very flexible, and we make sure that we consider everything on an application rather than just looking at grades. So that continues during clearing, and you know, if you get in touch, then we're hoping to end that with making you an offer. So you know, don't think I haven't got the grades, I'm not going to get in. Pick up the phone, have a chat with us, and then we can explore all the options available.
Fantastic, thanks Paul. Going back to Ali briefly, what's the student experience like at Staffs? What's the social side like for students coming to study with us?
Yes, so we have loads of different ways that students can come and socialise and make loads of different new friends. So a major one is our clubs and societies. So you can join them to do pretty much anything you want. We have our more academic societies like psychology, law, games design and development, to our more sporty societies, which are netball, basketball, badminton, just to name a few. And then we have our less academic societies. We had a Disney society that was running for a while. We've also got a first aid society to get students who want to be first aid trained. And we also have a guild of assassins where they do run around campus with Nerf guns, and it's absolutely brilliant to see, and it is also terrifying just to see people running around. But as well, we do have loads of different social spaces on campus. So we have the LRV, Verve and Ember, where you can go and get food, drinks, and the LRV, fingers crossed with the world opening back up, will be turned back into our social space for nights out, so students can still have a night out but still be on campus and have that campus feel still. But not LRV, but Verve and they're great places that if you want to get something cheap to eat, just not cook one night, it's a great place to go to. It's similar to Wetherspoon's Informal, and they do have deals on most days of the week.
And what should somebody coming to us in September expect during Welcome Week? What happens usually during Welcome Week or Freshers Week, as some people might know it?
So Welcome Week or Freshers Week, it usually starts on the day that you move in, which will be Saturday the 25th of September or around that date. So that's when you come onto campus, collect your keys for accommodation if you're staying on campus, and there'll be loads of us in red being able to point you out in the right directions, because we were all in our first year once. We know how scary it can be. So you can come and speak to us because we've been through it ourselves. You can get help to move in, but a lot of the times your families will help you do that. And then you've got the opportunity to go to welcome fair stalls where they'll be highlighting the different societies, the support networks that are there, and it gives you the chance that you can really kind of get to grips and make your university experience what you want it to be. As well, Freshers Week, we all know what happens on Freshers Week. There's going to be a lot of parties, so you do have the opportunity to do that. But if parties aren't your thing, you can go and you can have society meetings to go to, and you can make your Freshers Week what you make of it. For myself, I didn't go out partying every night. I was quite an anxious soul, so I quite enjoyed sitting in with my flatmates and watching movies, and that's how I spent my Freshers Week, and I wouldn't trade in a day of it, because that's what works for me and my flatmates. It's not all about going out and partying if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with watching Netflix for 5 hours.
Thanks, Ali, that's great. Paul, we've got some specific, very specific clearing questions. Around individual circumstances. So it says I've decided I'd rather take my insurance choice rather than my firm. Can I swap them?
Yeah, so I believe that the deadline has passed to be able to just swap your two choices around. So what you would need to do is you would need to go into clearing to be able to do that. So just to clarify, so it can get a little complicated. Your insurance choice is there in case your firm choice doesn't accept you. So if you don't get into your firm choice, you automatically drop your insurance. If you get an offer for both of those, so you've got a firm choice offer and an insurance offer, then to take the insurance one, you would tend to need to go back through clearing. But the way to do that is to contact the university that you hold your insurance choice with. Just let them know that you're looking to do that, just to make sure that they still have places available, etc. And then on your UCAS track account, you can actually self-release into clearing. So you don't have to contact the university that you're holding an offer with. On your UCAS track, there'll be a button which will be decline my place. So if you click that, it'll then give you a little bit of information just to let you know what it is that you're going to do. And then once you're self-released, you'll enter clearing and you'll be able to then refer yourself to the offer you had at the insurance choice so that they can then confirm you.
So if somebody didn't want to take their firm or insurance choice, they'd need to self-release to go into clearing?
Yes, they would, but obviously when you contact an institution during clearing, the first thing that the offer that you'll be given over the phone will be a verbal offer or an informal offer. So that's basically saying, here's a place waiting for you to take us up on. So here are the things that you need to do in order for that to happen. So what I would suggest is that people contact the institution first, get that verbal offer, and then self-release into clearing because they've got the offer there waiting, rather than just releasing themselves without knowing that that they've got the offer there waiting for them.
And can somebody apply to a university that's already rejected them through clearing?
Now this is a difficult one. It would depend mainly on if you've got anything extra that you can talk about. So have you gone and got yourself some extra experience? Is there another qualification that you've done? Anything like that? Because most universities, what they will do is they will look for opportunities for you in terms of when they first look at that application. I mean, a lot of universities will have other options for you. So, for example, if you applied for a 3-year degree, there may be a foundation year, for example, that you could be considered for. So it's still worth giving them a call, although it may be that they've explored all the options for you initially. So the best chance you'd have of doing that is if you had some further experience or something that would add to your application from when you made it first time round.
And how many universities could you apply to through clearing?
So in clearing, in terms of a formal application, it's only one choice at a time on UCAS. Now, if you wanted to, you could contact as many universities as you want to see if you can get them those verbal offers and then decide from there. But in terms of when you refer yourself on UCAS, you will only be able to do that for one course. So, like I said, it's a great opportunity to be able to shop around and have a look and see what's most suitable for you. So if you've got more than one university in mind, contact them all, see if they can make you an offer, and then make your choices from there. Like I say, here at Staffs, we've got opportunities to come and visit. So we've got the clearing open down the 12th, we've got another university open down the 14th, but also we'll be running tours throughout. So you know, it's important that you make the decision based on what you want. So if in order to do that you need to come and visit the campus and have a look around yourself, then I'd very much recommend you do that, because I mean, a lot of the people, I think Ellie mentioned it about when she joined on an open day, a lot of people who come to Staffs for an open day just are blown away by how friendly people are, the community feel, and it's an important decision because it could be the next 3 or 4 years of your life that you're choosing to be somewhere. So if you have the opportunity, go and visit if you haven't already done so that you can really get a feel for what it is that you're going into.
And once somebody's made a decision, how can they add their clearing choice? Is that through UCAS track?
It is. So if you're already registered with UCAS, then it would be by logging into your UCAS track. You'll have, if you're eligible for clearing, it will have a button which says Add Clearing Choice. So if you click on that, then it'll ask you for some details on the course and the institution that you want to go to. So if we make you an offer, in the email that we send out, it'll have those details that you need in order to refer yourself.
Someone's asked, what's the last date of receiving an unconditional offer letter?
I mean, in terms of that, like I said, we will be making offers for most of our courses right up until 2 weeks into teaching. So the last date that we'll be sending unconditional offers out would be the 15th of October. Now, there may be some courses that won't go that long. So, for example, courses that have a placement, then they may finish a little earlier than that because of the placement elements of the course. But in terms of that, if you're a home student, then we can do it right up until the 15th of October. If you're an international student looking to come to the UK, there are still places available in clearing, so we very much want to hear from you. But we would suggest that you get in touch with us as soon as you can, because it takes a little longer because of visa applications, etc., for the international applications to be able to get to that stage of completing enrolment.
I think we're coming to the end of the questions, but you've touched on it really briefly, Paul. But can you explain a little bit about what a foundation year is and the benefits of those?
No problem. So a foundation year is basically it's an extra year onto your course, so it's not a separate course. So if you wanted to do, for example, a psychology course degree, and you didn't have the grades or the when we looked at the application, we felt that you needed a little bit more beforehand, then what we would do is look to offer you a place on the foundation year. So the foundation year would be a BSc on psychology with a foundation year. So that foundation year is there to bring you up to speed so that when you go on to the degree, then you'll be at a level with everyone else who's studying on that degree. So it'd concentrate on the science elements of the course to be able to bring you up to speed with that. So that then once you've completed that foundation year, it's not a separate application or anything, you'll automatically then progress onto the 3-year degree. So we have lots of foundation years here at Staffs. So like I said before, don't think that it's not worth contacting us because of you might not have the qualifications or you might not have the experience. Get in touch, because there are lots of ways in which we help support students who may not have had the grades or may have been out of education for some time. We help with these things like the foundation years to be able to bridge that gap in terms of getting back into study and getting up to that degree level.
Thank you so much, that's really good advice. Ali, just one last question for you. Are there any tips or advice that you give to somebody starting university this September, going back to where you were 3 years ago, and any advice from your perspective?
Learn how to boil pasta. I had to teach somebody in my first year how to boil pasta, and it was a really weird experience. But as well, speak to other people. If you've known other people to go to university, speak to them, because everyone has that same level of anxiety before going to university. It is that pre-moving away jitters or pre-going to a new university jitters. You don't have to have a student experience with moving out. If you commute in, that's also fine. But as well, bring over the door coat hangers, because I like to hang my coats up instead of having them balled up in a corner on the floor. But just take every opportunity that you can while at university, because the opportunities that you receive at university, they don't come around every day. So take all of them, have a really full-on university experience, do exactly what you want to do, because then you've got so much more to talk about when you leave university, when you tell your friends, your family, and employers want to hear from you, especially when you've been so involved at university. And just take every opportunity and really put yourself out there. These next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, how many ever years, they're really your time to come into your own and really hit the ground running for your future and your career, and Staffs really sets you up for doing that.
That's fantastic advice. Thanks, Ellie, and we wish you all the luck for your future endeavours. Paul, one last question for you. Do you have any tips for anybody going through clearing this year tomorrow from results day?
Yeah,
Any top
definitely.
tips or last minute advice?
Yeah, my advice would always be not to panic. So, as I mentioned before, if you contact us, you'll be getting through to someone who's really friendly, will help you through the process. So we have, as Ali has said, one thing that we do really well at this university is in terms of supporting people, and that goes right through from when we're speaking to people before they start, right through until they leave with the degree certificate and graduate. So really just take a breath. We know it's a big day for lots of people, and we're here to help every step of the way and help as much as we can. So once you've got those results, whichever way they go, just have a think about what it is that you want to do from there on, and like I say, contact the universities that you want to speak to, and then you can have lots of good conversations, get a feel for what people have to offer and what institutions have to offer. And like I say, if you get the opportunity and you haven't already done so, then I would also suggest going to visit that university, because there are opportunities around this time of year. And I know from ourselves point of view, as well as lots of other institutions, it's been a long time since we've been able to welcome people onto the campus to have a look around. So your opportunities to do that may have been limited over the last 18 months. So feel free to come on campus, have a look around, and take your time, make those decisions that are right for you.
I'm so sorry, Ali. We thought you thought you'd got off the hook, but we've just had literally one more last question come in. Somebody's applied to go to London this year, September. They just wanted any advice or tips on living on your own for the first time.
Yeah, so I'm from Leicester originally, so coming to Stoke-on-Trent, it was an hour's drive for me. So moving away from home was a really big step, but keep in contact with your family. Everyone does miss home, but just keeping in contact with your friends, your family, and also take a lot of reassurance in the fact that you're not the only person who's moved away from home for the first time. Everyone does experience that homesickness, but living on your own, enjoy it, because if you've got siblings, enjoy the peace and quiet, because it is honestly a beautiful thing. But take it one day at a time, because just taking one day just to really make sure that you're getting everything, and make sure to eat, because if you don't eat properly you're going to feel worse. But no, just taking it one day at a time, and making those friends or make going to university feel a lot more fun, enjoyable, because you'll spend a lot more time with your friends rather than on your own. So just take it one day at a time and it will be fine.
Thanks, Ali. That's great advice. Last question for Paul. How can people get in touch with Staff's Uni through Clearing?
So, you'll find our Clearing hotline number on our website, but that's 0800 590 830. As well as that, we'll have people on social media, we'll have people covering live chat. And as I mentioned, if you go to www.staffs.ac.uk/clearing, there's lots of information on there, including webinars that we've done to obviously help guide people through the process and help support people through this time of year. But also all the ways to get in touch with us will be available through there as well.
Just one final thing to say, thank you very much for your time and bearing your soul, Ali, particularly. Thank you very much, and Paul, sharing your Clearing experience and expertise as well. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.